Life can throw crazy curveballs your way and you never know what tomorrow will bring, but one thing you can do is try to be prepared. Pretty and Prepared is a podcast hosted by me, Pamela Valdez, all about being the best version of yourself while preparing for the life you want and deserve. With this podcast, we are targeting millennials, content creators, students, creative individuals, and more looking to gain insight on all things social media, living your best life, self-confidence, love, building your career from the ground up, landing internships, secrets to working with brands, and so much more. Tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. for a brand new episode. Hey guys, welcome back to Pretty and Prepared podcast. Today I have a few updates for you guys. First of all, I'm so sorry that I was not able to upload this week on Monday. I thought that I auto-published the episode and then I didn't, and it was literally already recorded, ready to go, and it just didn't work out. So I'm sorry about that, but I still ended up uploading it on Thursday just because I didn't want to miss an upload for this week. But when you guys are listening to this, it is Friday and I have some really exciting news. I'm going to be uploading twice a week now because I actually got a few responses on my submission form. If you guys don't know, I have a submission form for my podcast, which is on the Pretty and Prepared Pod Instagram. And on there, you guys can send me any little notes or episode requests that you guys want from me. And I got a few responses. One of them actually was if I could upload more, and that literally just made my entire day because I'm still new to this whole podcasting world, but I definitely want to upload more. So I have exciting news, which is every Monday and Friday I'm now going to be uploading, and Mondays are just going to be my regular podcast episode days. However, on Fridays, I'm going to be doing a new segment, which is basically going to be like an advice session, but then I'm also going to be doing a new segment called Pam's Picks. So it's going to be half advice for you guys, just answering like any frequently asked questions, and then the other half is just going to be like the last few minutes of the episode talking about my favorite products of that week or just anything that I love. And I don't know, I really liked the name Pam's Picks, so I was like, this is kind of cute. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. For these advice sessions, I'm going to try to make them 20 minutes or less just because it's an advice session. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to hear me talk for that long. So today we're going to be talking all about reinventing yourself, and the words reinventing yourself, I feel like it sounds so simple, yet it can mean so much at the same time, and you can reinvent so many different things in your life. Like you can reinvent your career, your life, your lifestyle, your outfits, how you dress, how you talk, how you act, and literally so much more. So I want to dive into a few different topics within this episode because over the past 3 years, I feel like I've really transformed into this new person. And because of that, I want to give you guys my advice on how I was basically able to reinvent myself and just everything within my life. So I want to give you guys my advice on how I was able to do this and dive a little bit deeper into what that means and some ways that you can incorporate this into your own life to be the best you. The second thing that I did to reinvent my personal life was I started doing things that were going to benefit me and my lifestyle. And I actually talked about this before in a previous episode, and that is that I go to Cycle Bar, which is an indoor spin class, and you literally just bike for 45 minutes, but I am consistently doing this 3 to 4 times a week, as well as going on walks usually on Fridays or the weekends, and I either go alone, I'll listen to a podcast, or I'll listen to some music, or sometimes I go with my sister and we'll just vent to each other. But these are things that they may sound like really small things, like, okay, you're just working out and you're going on a walk, but in reality, like, I love getting fresh air, and I really wanted to start doing more things on my own and learning to find activities to literally just do by myself. And going on walks, listening to music, or just listening to a podcast is so therapeutic. And even if you're doing it with a friend or alone or with your sibling and just talking about your day, listening to nature, being outside, it can literally cure so much. Like, it is something that I look forward to every single week. And I've also been reading every single night for like 20 to 30 minutes. And this has also been really helpful for me to just be off my phone, learn to relax, learn to debrief from my day without being on technology, and just getting immersed in a completely different world that is fantasy or romance, and just reading about this whole other world literally just is so fun. And the same thing with working out. Like, I was not a girl who liked working out, and I absolutely despised working out because I just don't want to be surrounded by guys that are lifting weights. So I did some research and I found a place that was going to make me feel comfortable. There's a really good staff. I tried it, which was Cycle Bar, and I told my friends about it. We all signed up. Now we all go, and it's something that I'm so grateful for that I found. So the piece of advice that you can take from this is learn to get out of your comfort zone and start doing things that are good for your body, your soul, and your mind. Because if you're constantly just working and doing things that are for money, like you're working at your job, or you're just constantly doing things that are not for your mind and your body, it's just going to be so much harder for you to focus on other things. Because when I was constantly on go and just editing YouTube videos or making content every day and just going to school and coming back home and doing my internship work, and I wasn't actually doing anything else outside of that was more of like a hobby for myself, it was harder for me to focus on things. Like, I literally could not be on social media without scrolling through a video and thinking, okay, this could be a really good content idea. It's like, I need to learn to separate work from my personal life. So find things that are just going to benefit your body and your soul and your mind, and not just something that you're doing for work all the time. The third and the last thing that I did to reinvent my personal life is that I looked at who was around me and who was actually pushing me to be the best version of myself versus who is just around for the drama, who just wants to get the tea and learn about other people's lives when it literally doesn't benefit them for any reason at all. Like, I used to be like a professional gossiper. Like, my friends and I in middle school and high school, like, that was all that people liked to do, and obviously I liked to do that too at that time. And even I feel like it's also like a family thing. Like, Hispanic families love gossip and they love to talk about like things going on. So literally it was a family thing, it was a friend thing. Like, everybody was just always gossiping with each other, and it was getting to a point where I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I literally just want to live my life. And that was also affecting my confidence and making me more insecure, because I was like, the way that my friends and these people and all of us are talking about each other made me so insecure to literally do anything, because I was like, I've already been a part of this world where everybody gossips. So if I go and start doing social media, or if I start doing something that I like that other people are going to look at as embarrassing, they're going to talk about me just the same way that we did about other people. And as I started getting older, as I started maturing, I just realized this is not a world that I want to be a part of. Like, I do not want to do any of this stuff anymore. So like I just said, as I've been getting older, I've just been realizing all the people in my life who I want, who I don't want, who is worth being friends with, who is worth keeping a friendship with, and just learning to let go of people and things that are not worth your time. And it could sound really brutal, but at the end of the day, life is way too short to be unhappy, and we see it all the time, like on social media, on the news, online, that these people could seem like they're living such a great life, and then you see like something happen and you're like, okay, like, wow, life is so short. We really need to live every single second as if it was our last. And that has been my motto moving forward, like ever since COVID started, and life has just been a lot more unpredictable. Like, we literally had all of that happen for how many years. I just really like to take advantage more now of living my life, and that is something that I've been applying when it comes to being friends with certain people, is that you should not have friendships where you literally get anxiety texting these people. Like, that was me. I felt like I couldn't be myself around certain people. I couldn't let them know my goals or my dreams, because I always felt like they were going to give me a, oh, that's great, but think about this kind of answer. And it's people like that you really need to stay away from, because they're the ones that are always going to try to hold you back and project their insecurities onto you. And when I stopped being friends with these people that were so insecure and just had no goals for themselves. Like, they literally just wanted to stay in the same spot for all of these years. I felt such a weight lifted off my shoulder because I'm like, great, like now I don't have to worry about someone being behind my back and talking about me, or someone pinning down my ideas and giving me negative energy. Like, I would never tell my friends anything that I had coming up or any goals because I was always so afraid of what they were going to say. And again, those are not real friends at the end of the day. Like, I would never tell my friends, oh, I'm going to post this on Instagram, or oh, I have this idea to start a blog, I'm going to start an agency, I'm going to start social media. Like, I never told anybody any of that because, again, I was afraid, and these were people that I already knew were going to be giving me negative backlash, and they would only be supportive if they could benefit from it somehow. And so again, these are the kind of people that you need to stay away from because they're only just going to project their personal insecurities onto you and make you think that whatever you want to do is a bad idea when you haven't even tried it yet. Now we're moving on to the reinventing yourself but career aspect part of this episode. And I'm a college student. I have one more year of school left, but obviously I'm still trying to figure out like where I'm going to be heading after I graduate. But I have been making a lot of moves now as a college student in terms of career routes and the whole adulting aspect. So my tips would be, lay out a vision that you want for your life. What do you see yourself doing? What do you want to do? And a fun way that you can do this is by making a Pinterest board, and you can literally just put it on private and make a bunch of photos in there about the life that you want. You can even go as far as printing out all of these photos and putting them into a collage in your room. You can make it your phone wallpaper. Like, I have my vision board as my wallpaper on my MacBook. So whenever I'm on there, I'm looking at it, and I also have quotes on my phone all the time. But these photos and looking at these collages constantly are a great way to constantly see the life that you want right in front of you and just consistently envisioning that. And so after you've laid out this version of what you want for yourself and how you can start it, make a list or write down some notes, whether you buy a new journal or you just write this down in the notes app on your phone or on a piece of paper. What is it going to take for you to get this life that you want? And again, this can be removing people from your life that are not worth it, or starting to implement new habits such as doing a little bit of research every night, or going out like to buy a notebook and taking some notes. And what is it that you have to do to get to where you want to be and have your dream and your goals? Like, kind of have a plan almost of what you can do to take the steps to be in the lifestyle that you want. And this can be really hard to do. Like, I totally understand because I've always wanted to do social media and content, but it's like, how do you even start on social media? Like, how do you write down goals for that? So what I did was I just started posting online. I literally just started making content. I bought a tripod on Amazon, and again, the first videos that I made on TikTok and the first photos that I posted on Instagram, they were not good. They were really bad, especially my TikToks. The quality was so bad. But again, if I would have never started, then I wouldn't be to how I am now, where the quality is a little bit better and I have more tripods, I have better lighting. Like, I am a lot more confident in front of the camera now than how I was a year ago. So again, you just kind of have to start, and I started saving up money to buy new outfits to share it online. I started saving up to buy accessories and just things that I can, again, style and share with my audience. And I also started posting very consistently. I came up with content calendars for the kind of content that I can create every single month, and I looked at what other people were posting online, how I can put my own twist on that. So that was kind of like how I was able to turn one of my goals into a reality. I literally just started implementing all of those little habits, and it has kind of turned into my life now. The last piece of advice that I want to say, and it's something that I did when it came to reinventing myself in order to be more aligned with my career goals, is I started setting up the habits now for the person that I want to be in a few years or even 1 year from now. So basically, like, I don't know if you've heard of people saying this quote, but a lot of people say this, and it's like, the person that you want to be in the future, you have to start acting like them now, because if you don't start now, you're never going to be that person, and you're never going to know what it's like to be in that person's shoes. So for example, the future version of me, the girl that I want to be in the future, I want to wake up early, go to workout classes, get my walks in, get like those 10,000 steps in a day, post on social media consistently, and I want to be working a job that I really like. And so I started implementing my 6:45 a.m. workouts every Monday. And then I try to work out 3 to 4 times a week. On Fridays or weekends, I make sure that I'm going out and I'm getting fresh air. Every night I'm reading and I'm listening to podcasts. I'm working towards my goals. I started my own podcast last month. And these are all things that I was always so afraid of doing. But again, I got out of my comfort zone and I started letting go, getting out of my shell. And the girl that I want to be in the future, I have to start acting like her today, and being in that mindset has literally helped me so much. We are officially at the end of today's episode, so I wanted to quickly recap everything that we talked about, which is start implementing a realistic list of goals and the person that you want to become. What is it that you want to change about yourself or improve? How can you start doing this? Do things for your mind, your body, and your soul, and not just for money and other aspects of your life. Don't constantly be working all the time. Start building habits now and be a little bit of a percent better every day than you were the day before. Make sure to practice self-care, whether it's journaling or doing meditations, praying, going out on walks, listening to a podcast. And lastly is don't surround yourself by people who are not going to be there for you or be your number one supporter, because those are just the people that, plain and simple, they're secret haters and they just want to see you fail. So I'm hoping that all of these tips can help you, and if they do, or if you guys start implementing them and seeing changes, I would love to chat. My DMs are always open, and you can either message Pretty and Prepared Pod on Instagram or my personal Instagram. Almost forgot to add the Pam's Picks portion and that segment of this episode, but the product that I'm loving this week is the Kosas wet lip oil. Kosas, I don't know, however you say it. I got it in the shade Unbuttoned, and I actually wore it in one of my YouTube videos. I think it was specifically my reading wrap up for March, and then I also did the other half of that video where I talked about my April reads. So if you guys want a nice lip oil that is super hydrating, but it gives your lips a little bit of color, I would totally recommend getting this one. I'm also a huge Kosas stan. Like, I use their bronzer. I have a bunch of products from them, and I have something coming in the mail today. So I'm really loving this one. So stay tuned for next week's Pam's Pick product of what I will have. Thank you guys so much for listening to Pretty and Prepared, and make sure to tune in every Monday for new episodes at 8 a.m. and my DMs are open for any podcast episode ideas you guys have, or if you guys just want to talk, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.